Okay, welcome you guys. I wasn't initially planning a live for tonight, but I decided to go ahead. Oh, I'm glad it did, Scott. Excuse me. No, Cracker is poking around the keyboard again, as he always does. You little goose. Did you just get up, Scott? I love you, Cracker. What's Cracker lacking, little man, huh? I love you. Go hang out with Daniel. Okay. Oh, okay. Cool. So you're all fresh, huh? Yeah, I saw that, Jer. Very cool. And my son has tickets to that concert at the end of next month. Awesome. Awesome, Scott. All right, Cracker, you can be here, but you have to behave. No. No, sir. Here. I will move my crafting stuff and you can lay on the sweater. Here. Yeah, lay there. So yesterday we ended at Deuteronomy chapter 14, so I will be picking up in 15 tonight. And I am again reading out of the LSB, that's the Legacy Standard Bible, I believe. It's basically an updated version of the New American Standard. I like it because it says Yahweh and stuff, you know. And I've checked, done some cross-referencing and stuff to make sure that it's not missing anything. And so far, I haven't found any issues. No, you don't need that either. Lay over here and behave yourself, or I'm going to have to send you out to the living room. Yeah, good boy. Look, you can even have the sloth. Are you able to hear me all right, Scott? I have to have my phone on the charger, so I have the phone on the other side of the desk this time. And Jer, can you tell me how the music level is over there compared to my voice? I didn't do a sound check before I went live tonight. Okay. Awesome. So welcome, and if anybody needs prayer, please don't hesitate to ask. And I'm just going to go ahead and jump in. At the end of every 7 years, you shall grant a remission of debts. And this is the manner of remission. Every creditor shall release what he has loaned to his neighbor. He shall not exact it of his neighbor and his brother, because the remission from Yahweh has been proclaimed. From a foreigner you may exact it, but your hand shall release whatever of yours is with your brother. However, there will be no needy one among you, since Yahweh will surely bless you in the land which Yahweh your God is giving you as an inheritance to possess. If only you listen obediently to the voice of Yahweh your God, to be careful to do all this commandment, he's in front of the computer screen, which I am commanding you today. For Yahweh your God will bless you as he has promised you, and you will lend to many nations. No, Cracker. But you will not borrow, and you will rule over many nations, but they will not rule over you. If there is a needy one among you, one of your brothers, in any of your gates of the towns in your land which Yahweh your God is giving you, you shall not harden your heart nor close your hand from your needy brother, but you shall freely open your hand to him and shall generously lend him sufficient for his need in whatever he lacks. Beware lest there be a vile thought in your heart, saying, the 7th year, the year of the remission of debts, is near, and your eye is hostile toward your needy brother, and you give him nothing. Then he may cry to Yahweh against you, and it will be a sin in you. You shall generously give to him, and your heart shall not be grieved when you give to him, because for this thing Yahweh your God will bless you in all your work and in all that you send forth your hand to do. For the needy will never cease to be in the land. Therefore I am commanding you, saying, you shall freely open your hand to your brother, to your afflicted and needy in your land. If your brother, a Hebrew man or woman, is sold to you, then he shall serve you 6 years. But in the 7th year you shall let him go to be free from you. When you let him go to be free from you, you shall not let him go empty-handed. You shall furnish him generously from your flock and from your threshing floor and from your wine vat. You shall give to him as Yahweh your God has blessed you. And you shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt, and Yahweh your God redeemed you. Therefore I am commanding you this today. And it will be that if he says to you, I will not go out from you, because he loves you and your household, since he fares well with you, then you shall take an awl and pierce it through his ear into the door, and he shall be your servant forever. Also you shall do likewise to your maidservant. It shall not seem hard in your sight when you let him go to be free from you, for he has given you 6 years with double the service of a hired man. So Yahweh your God will bless you in whatever you do. You shall set apart as holy to Yahweh your God all the firstborn males that are born of your herd and of your flock. You shall not work with the firstborn of your herd, nor shear the firstborn of your flock. You and your household shall eat it every year before Yahweh your God in the place which Yahweh chooses. But if it has any defect, such as lameness or blindness or any serious defect, you shall not sacrifice it to Yahweh your God. You shall eat it within your gates. The unclean and the clean alike may eat it, as a gazelle or a deer. Only you shall not eat its blood. You are to pour it out on the ground like water. And that was Deuteronomy chapter 15. Okay. I'm going to check through the comments. Oh, definitely, Scott. I know those feels for sure. Father God, I lift my brother Scott up to you tonight, and I ask that you provide for him, Lord. Help him to find a way to get all that he needs, Lord. We know that you will make that happen, and help him to have peace in the waiting and to trust you. And we thank you, Father, in Jesus' name, amen. Okay. I have to refresh the other live before I can check the messages again. I'm not sure if you're still there, Jarrett. Says there's nobody in that live, but on there I'm Katie. I'm the one that makes all the announcements and stuff over there on the Discord. And I don't know if I saw a message from you, but I will check when I'm done with the live tonight. Oh, hey, you moved over to the other one. Welcome to those just coming in. God bless you. If you need prayer, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm going to take a drink real quick, and then I will carry on to chapter 16. Keep the month of Abib and celebrate the Passover to Yahweh your God. For in the month of Abib, Yahweh your God brought you out of Egypt by night. And you shall sacrifice a Passover to Yahweh your God from the flock and the herd. in the place where Yahweh chooses for his name to dwell. You shall not eat leavened bread with it. 7 days you shall eat with it unleavened bread, the bread of affliction, for you came out of the land of Egypt in haste, so that you may remember the day when you came out of the land of Egypt all the days of your life. For 7 days no leaven shall be seen with you in all your territory. And none of the flesh which you sacrifice on the evening of the first day shall remain overnight until morning. You are not allowed to sacrifice the Passover in any of your gates of the towns which Yahweh your God is giving you, but at the place where Yahweh your God chooses for his name to dwell, there you shall sacrifice the Passover in the evening at sunset, at the appointed time that you came out of Egypt. Cracker, why do you keep getting higher and higher in front of the screen? And you shall cook and eat it in the place which Yahweh your God chooses. In the morning you are to return to your tent. 6 days you shall eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day there shall be a solemn assembly to Yahweh your God. You shall do no work on it. You shall count 7 weeks for yourself. You shall begin to count 7 weeks from the time you begin to put the sickle to the standing grain. Then you shall celebrate the Feast of Weeks to Yahweh your God with a tribute of a freewill offering of your hand, which you shall give just as Yahweh your God blesses you. And you shall be glad before Yahweh your God, you and your son and your daughter and your male and female slaves, and the Levite who is within your gates, and the sojourner and the orphan and the widow who are in your midst, in the place where Yahweh your God chooses for his name to dwell. And you shall remember that you were a slave in Egypt, and you shall be careful to observe these statutes. You shall celebrate the Feast of Booths 7 days after you have gathered in from your threshing floor and your wine vat, and you shall be glad in your feast, you and your son and your daughter and your male and female slaves, and the Levite and the sojourner and the orphan and the widow who are within your gates. 7 days you shall celebrate a feast to Yahweh your God in the place which Yahweh chooses, because Yahweh your God will bless you in all your produce and in all the work of your hands, so that you will be altogether glad. 3 times in a year all your males shall appear before Yahweh your God in the place which he chooses, at the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and at the Feast of Weeks, and at the Feast of Booths, and they shall not appear before Yahweh empty-handed. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of Yahweh your God, which he has given you. You shall appoint for yourself judges and officers in all your gates of the towns which Yahweh your God is giving you, according to your tribes, and they shall judge the people with righteous judgment. You shall not distort justice, you shall not be partial, and you shall not take a bribe. For a bribe blinds the eyes of the wise and perverts the words of the righteous. Righteousness you shall pursue, that you may live and possess the land which Yahweh your God is giving you. You shall not plant for yourself an Asherah of any kind of tree beside the altar of Yahweh your God, which you shall make for yourself. And you shall not set up for yourself a sacred pillar which Yahweh your God hates. And that was Deuteronomy chapter 16. Hey, Weezy. You look so sleepy, honey. Lay back down and go get you some rest. I know you wish Gammy would just go to bed on time. It's almost the weekend, huh? I feel like this week went by kind of quick. Although, I hazard a guess that it goes a little slower for those who are still out in the workforce. I remember. Okay. Hang on just a second. These little Blair audio things in my ears. I've been doing them a little bit each day, trying to adjust to them. Okay. Welcome to those just coming in. If anybody needs prayer, please don't hesitate to ask. This is Deuteronomy chapter 17. You shall not sacrifice to Yahweh your God an ox or a sheep which has a defect or any blemish, for that is an abominable thing to Yahweh your God. If there is found in your midst, in any of your gates of the towns which Yahweh your God has given you, a man or a woman who does what is evil in the sight of Yahweh your God by trespassing against his covenant, and has gone and served other gods and worshipped them, or the sun or the moon, or any of the heavenly host, Cracker, come over here and lay down. You wish Wheezy would share with you. That's Gammy's sweater at least. Yeah, there you go. Here, I'll even put a nice little blankie shirt over you. How about that? Be nice and warm. Oh, there, you look very sweet. Okay. I'll go back just a little bit here. No, all of just a run-on sentence here. Okay. And if it is told to you, and you have heard of it, then you shall inquire thoroughly. Behold, if it is true, and the matter is confirmed that this abomination has been done in Israel, that you shall bring out that man or that woman who has done this evil deed to your gates, that is, the man or the woman, and you shall stone them, and they will die. On the mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses, he who is to die shall be put to death. He shall not be put to death on the mouth of 1 witness. The hand of the witnesses shall be first against him to put him to death, and afterward the hand of all the people. So you shall purge the evil from your midst. If any case is too difficult for you to judge, between one kind of homicide or another, between one kind of lawsuit or another, and between one kind of assault or another, being cases of dispute in your gates, then you shall arise and go up to the place which Yahweh your God chooses. So you shall come to the Levitical priest or the judge who is in office in those days, and you shall inquire of them, and they will declare to you the judgment in the case. And you shall do according to the terms of the judgment which they declare to you from that place which Yahweh chooses. And you shall be careful to do according to all that they teach you, according to the terms of the law which they teach you, and according to the judgment which they tell you, you shall do. You shall not turn aside from the word which they declare to you, to the right or the left. And the man who acts presumptuously, by not listening to the priest who stands there to minister to Yahweh your God, or to the judge, that man shall die. Thus you shall purge the evil from Israel. Then all the people will hear and be afraid, and will not act presumptuously again. When you enter the land which Yahweh your God gives you, and you possess it and live in it, and you say, I will set a king over me like all the nations who are around me, you shall surely set a king over you whom Yahweh your God chooses, one from among your brothers. You shall set as king over yourselves. You may not put a foreigner over yourselves who is not your brother. Moreover, he shall not multiply horses for himself, nor shall he cause the people to return to Egypt to multiply horses. Yahweh has said to you, you shall never again return that way, and he shall not multiply wives for himself, or else his heart will turn away, nor shall he greatly increase silver and gold for himself. Now it will be when he sits on the throne of his kingdom that he shall write for himself a copy of this law on a scroll in the presence of the Levitical priest. And it shall be with him, and he shall read it all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear Yahweh his God, to carefully observe all the words of this law and these statutes, and his heart may not be lifted up above his brothers, and that he may not turn aside from the commandment to the right or the left, so that he may prolong his days in his kingdom, he and his sons in the midst of Israel. And that was Deuteronomy chapter 17. Welcome to those just coming in. God bless you. If anybody needs prayer, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm going to I think I posted in the Discord, but I'm going to just take a peek in there and make sure I did. Oh, yeah. Looks like I did. Okay. Deuteronomy chapter 18. I'm going to take a drink real quick, and then I will carry on. Well, I guess while I'm thinking about it, Jer, I'll go and check for your message. Let me see. Okay, yeah, I don't see any messages from you, but I'm gonna go over to the whatchamacity and add you. I think you're in the general one here. There we go. Okay. There, I requested to add you, Jer. Then you should be able to message me. Although I'm pretty sure you could message me anyway, but I'm not sure. Okay. Deuteronomy chapter 18. The Levitical priests, tripping over my mouth tonight. Actually, I better put my Pepsi down, huh? The Levitical priests, the whole tribe of Levi, shall have no portion or inheritance with Israel. They shall eat of the offerings to Yahweh by proof. My kid came in and I totally read that wrong. What, honey?
Where was some tape? I want to make a console. Or at least...
that big thing of tape was in here. Let me see. I'll see if I can find it. Not in here. Huh. I'm not sure where it went, baby. Doesn't look like it's in here anymore. Nope, I don't have it. Oh, dump in my garbage now. Yeah, I'm sorry. You can ask Kenny. I think he has some tape. Sorry. Okay. They shall eat of the offerings to Yahweh by fire and of its inheritance. And they shall have no inheritance among their brothers. Yahweh is their inheritance as he promised them. Now this shall be the legal judgment for the priests taken from the people, from those who offer a sacrifice, either an ox or a sheep. They shall give to the priest the shoulder and the 2 cheeks and the stomach. You shall give him the first fruits of your grain, your new wine, and your oil, and the first shearing of your sheep. For Yahweh your God has chosen him and his sons from all your tribes, to stand to minister in the name of Yahweh all the days. Now if a Levite comes from any of your gates of the towns throughout Israel, where he sojourns and comes whenever he desires to the place which Yahweh chooses, then he shall minister in the name of Yahweh his God, like all his brothers the Levites who stand there before Yahweh. They shall eat equal portions, except what they receive from the sale of their father's estates. When you enter the land which Yahweh your God gives you, you shall not learn to imitate the abominations of those nations. There shall not be found among you anyone who makes his son or his daughter pass through the fire, one who uses divination, one who practices soothsaying, or one who interprets omens, or a sorcerer, or one who is an enchanter or a medium or a spiritist, or one who inquires of the dead. For whoever does these things is an abomination to Yahweh, and because of these abominations, Yahweh your God will dispossess them from before you. You shall be blameless before Yahweh, your God, for those nations which you shall dispossess. Listen to those who practice soothsaying and to diviners. But as for you, Yahweh your God has not allowed you to do so. Excuse me. Yahweh your God will raise up for you a prophet like me from among you. from your brothers, you shall listen to him. This is according to all that you asked of Yahweh your God in Horeb on the day of the assembly, saying, Let me not hear again the voice of Yahweh my God. Let me not see this great fire any more, or I will die. And Yahweh said to me, They have spoken well. I will raise up a prophet from among their brothers like you, and I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak to them all that I command him. And it will be that whoever will not listen to my words, which he shall speak in my name, I myself will require it of him. But the prophet who speaks a word presumptuously in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or which he speaks in the name of other gods, that prophet shall die. Now you may say in your heart, How will we know the word which Yahweh has not spoken? When a prophet speaks in the name of Yahweh, if the thing does not come about or come true, that is the thing which Yahweh has not spoken. The prophet has spoken it presumptuously. You shall not be afraid of him. And that was Deuteronomy chapter 18. How are you guys liking the purple background on here? I felt like changing it up. Okay. Welcome to those who are just joining. God bless you. If you need prayer, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm getting ready to carry on to Deuteronomy chapter 19. When Yahweh your God cuts off the nations whose land Yahweh your God gives you, and you dispossess them and settle in their cities and in their houses, you shall set apart 3 cities for yourself in the midst of your land, which Yahweh your God gives you to possess. You shall prepare the roads for yourself and divide into 3 parts the territory of your land, which Yahweh your God will give you to inherit, so that any manslayer may flee there. Now this is the case of the manslayer who may flee there and live, when he strikes down his friend without premeditation, not hating him previously, as when a man goes into the forest with his friend to cut wood, and his hand swings the axe to cut down the tree, and the iron head slips off the handle, and strikes his friend so that he dies. He may flee to one of these cities and live, lest the avenger of blood pursues the manslayer when his heart is angry, and overtake him, because the way is long, and strike down his life, though he was not deserving of death, since he had not hated him previously. Therefore I am commanding you, saying, You shall set apart 3 cities for yourself. Now if Yahweh your God enlarges your territory, just as he has sworn to your fathers, and gives you all the land which he promised to give to your fathers, if you be careful to do all this commandment which I am commanding you today, to love Yahweh your God and to walk in his ways all your days, then you shall add 3 more cities for yourself besides these 3. He couldn't find the tape? I'm looking around here. I don't know where it would be. Unless it were... Oh, look. It's behind the curtain. There you go. Can you take it out of here before you pull it? Because it'll be very noisy for everyone. I love you. Okay. It's okay, Cracker. I didn't mean to disturb you. So innocent blood will not be shed in the midst of your land, which Yahweh your God gives you as an inheritance, and blood guiltiness be on you. But if there is a man who hates his neighbor and lies in wait for him and rises up against him and strikes down his life so that he dies, and he flees to one of these cities, then the elders of his city shall send and take him from there and give him over into the hand of the avenger of blood, that he may die. You shall not pity him, but you shall purge the blood of the innocent from Israel, that it may go well with you. You shall not move your neighbor's boundary mark, which the ancestors have set in your inheritance, which you will inherit in the land that Yahweh your God gives you to possess. A single witness shall not rise up against a man on account of any iniquity or any sin which he has committed. At the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses a matter shall be established. If a malicious witness rises up against a man to accuse him of wrongdoing, then both the men who have the dispute shall stand before Yahweh, before the priests and the judges who will be in office in those days, and the judges shall inquire thoroughly, and behold, if the witness is a false witness, and he has accused his brother falsely, then you shall do to him just as he had intended to do to his brother. Thus you shall purge the evil from among you. And the rest will hear and be afraid, and will never again do such an evil thing among you. Thus your eye shall not show pity, life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. And that was Deuteronomy chapter 19. Okay, I'm going to take a drink again. Sorry, Scott, I didn't see you say hi to Shiloh until just now, but I will let him know that you said hi. Deuteronomy chapter 20. If you go out to battle against your enemies and see horses and chariots and people more numerous than you, do not be afraid of them. For Yahweh your God, who brought you up from the land of Egypt, is with you. Now it will be, when you are drawing near to the battle, the priest shall approach and speak to the people. And he shall say to them, Hear, O Israel, you are drawing near to the battle against your enemies today. Do not let your heart be faint. Do not be afraid, nor be alarmed, nor be in dread before them. For Yahweh your God is the one who goes with you, to fight for you against your enemies, to save you. The officers also shall speak to the people, saying, Who is the man that has built a new house and has not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man dedicate it. Who is the man that has planted a vineyard and has not begun to use its fruit? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man begin to use its fruit. And who is the man that is engaged to a woman and has not married her? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man marry her. Then the officers shall speak further to the people and say, Who is the man that is afraid and whose heart is faint? Let him go and return to his house, so that he might not make his brother's hearts melt like his heart. Now it will be that when the officers have finished speaking to the people, they shall appoint commanders of armies at the head of the people. If you come near a city to fight against it, you shall call for terms of peace. Now it will be that if it agrees to make peace with you and opens to you, then all the people who are found in it shall become your forced labor and shall serve you. However, if it does not make peace with you, but makes war against you, then you shall besiege it, and Yahweh your God shall give it into your hand, and you shall strike all the males in it with the edge of the sword. Only the women and the little ones and the animals and all that is in the city, all its spoil, you shall plunder for yourself, and you shall consume the spoil of your enemies, which Yahweh your God has given you. Thus you shall do to all the cities that are very far from you, which are not of the cities of these nations nearby. Only in the cities of these peoples that Yahweh your God is giving you as an inheritance, you shall not leave alive anything that breathes, but you shall devote them to destruction, the Hittite and the Amorite, the Canaanite and the Perizzite, the Hivite and the Jebusite, as Yahweh your God has commanded you, so that they may not teach you to do according to all their abominations, which they have done for their gods, so that you would sin against Yahweh your God. If you besiege a city for many days to make war against it in order to capture it, you shall not destroy its trees by swinging an axe against them. For you may eat from them, and you shall not cut them down. For is the tree of the field a man, that it should be besieged by you? Only the trees which you know are not trees for food you shall destroy and cut down, that you may build siege works against the city that is making war with you until it falls. And that was Deuteronomy chapter 20. What do I mean about what? Or were you referring to me? Yeah.
I stole his credit card.
You what?
And bought this Game Boy too.
Oh, I see, you taped it together.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it has a hole.
I don't think you actually stole his credit card. You're goofy. I know. Oh, it's like a giggle. And Scott said hi, by the way.
Hold it. Yes.
Wow, you can spin it. Did you hear me? Scott said hi.
Hi, Scott. I'm gonna make some more new cards.
Yeah, it's definitely an old school thing. I always did tee-hee-hee when I was younger. Deuteronomy chapter 21. If a slain person is found fallen in the open country in the land which Yahweh your God gives you to possess, and it is not known who has struck him, then your elders and your judges shall go out and measure the distance to the cities which are around the slain one. And it shall be that the city which is nearest to the slain man, that is, the elders of that city, shall take a heifer of the herd which has not been worked and which has not pulled in a yoke, and the elders of that city shall bring the heifer down to a valley with running water, which has not been plowed or sown, and they shall break the heifer's neck there in the valley. Then the priests, the sons of Levi, shall come near, for Yahweh your God has chosen them to minister for him and to bless in the name of Yahweh, and every dispute and every assault shall be settled by them. And all the elders of that city who are nearest to the slain man shall wash their hands over the heifer whose neck was broken in the valley, and they shall answer and say, Our hands did not shed this blood, nor did our eyes see it. Atone for your people Israel, whom you have redeemed, O Yahweh, and do not place the guilt of innocent blood in the midst of your people Israel. And the blood guiltiness shall be atoned for them. So you shall purge the guilt of innocent blood from your midst, when you do what is right in the eyes of Yahweh. If you go out to battle against your enemies, and Yahweh your God gives them over into your hands, and you take them away captive, and see among the captives a beautiful woman, and set your affection on her, and would take her as a wife for yourself, then you shall bring her home to your house, and she shall shave her head and trim her nails. She shall also remove the clothes of her captivity, and shall remain in your house, and weep for her father and mother a full month. And after that you may go into her, and be her husband, and she shall be your wife. And it will be that, if you do not desire her, then you shall let her go wherever she wishes. Excuse me. But you shall certainly not sell her for money. You shall not mistreat her because you have humbled her. If a man has two wives, the one loved and the other unloved, and both the loved and the unloved have borne him sons, if the firstborn son belongs to the unloved, then it shall be in the day he wills what he has to his sons, he cannot make the son of the loved the firstborn before the son of the unloved, who is the firstborn. But he shall recognize the firstborn, the son of the unloved, by giving him a double portion of all that he has, for he is the first of his vigor. The legal judgment for the firstborn belongs to him. Give me just 1 second here, guys. I have to fix something in the stream. Just a second. Okay, I think I have done. Yeah, there we go. Okay, back to reading. If any man has a stubborn and rebellious son who will not obey his father or his mother, and when they discipline him, he will not even listen to them, then his father and mother shall seize him and bring him out to the elders of his city at the gateway of his hometown. Then they shall say to the elders of his city, "This son of ours is stubborn and rebellious. He will not listen to our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard." Then all the men of his city shall stone him, and he will die. So you shall purge the evil from your midst, and all Israel will hear of it and fear. And if a man has committed a sin, the judgment of which is death, and he is put to death, and you hang him on a tree, his corpse shall not hang all night on the tree, but you shall surely bury him on the same day, because cursed of God is he who is hanged, so that you do not make unclean your land which Yahweh your God gives you as an inheritance. And that was chapter 21 of Deuteronomy. I see we have some other people in here. I wonder if Adam is here. I know he had said he was still awake, but I'm not sure if maybe he had fallen asleep before I actually got live. I love you. Yeah. I want to give you a little poem. I bought flea medicine from the vet and it didn't work. It was such a disappointment and a waste of money. So I've just been using a flea comb on them if I see them. I can't stand the things. Okay. Luckily, they haven't been biting me or the kids or anything, so that's good at least. Oh. Okay. So Deuteronomy chapter 22. And I'm going to be reading 3 more chapters tonight. If anybody needs prayer, please don't hesitate to ask. You shall not see your brother's ox or his sheep straying away and ignore them. Crackers snoring. You shall certainly bring him back to your brother. And if your brother is not near you, or if you do not know him, then you shall bring it home to your house, and it shall be with you until your brother searches for it. Then you shall give it back to him. Thus you shall do with his donkey, and you shall do likewise with his garment, and you shall do likewise with anything lost by your brother, which he has lost and you have found. You are not allowed to ignore them. You shall not see your brother's donkey or his ox fallen down on the way and ignore them. You shall certainly help him to raise them up. A woman shall not wear man's clothing, nor shall a man put on a woman's clothing, for whoever does these things is an abomination to Yahweh your God. If you happen to come upon a bird's nest along the way, in any tree or on the ground, with young ones or eggs, and the mother sitting on the young or on the eggs, you shall not take the mother with the young. You shall certainly let the mother go, but the young you may take for yourself, in order that it may be well with you, and that you may prolong your days. When you build a new house, you shall make a parapet for your roof, so that you will not bring blood guilt on your house if anyone falls from it. You shall not sow your vineyard with 2 kinds of seed, lest all the produce of the seed which you have sown and the increase of the vineyard become defiled. You shall not plow with an ox and a donkey together. You shall not wear a material mixed of wool and flax together. You shall make yourself tassels on the four corners of your garment with which you cover yourself. If any man takes a wife and goes into her and then turns against her and charges her with shameful deeds and brings forth against her a bad name and says, I took this woman, but when I came near her, I did not find her a virgin. Then the girl's father and her mother shall take and bring out the evidence of the girl's virginity to the elders of the city at the gate. Then the girl's father shall say to the elders, I gave my daughter to this man as a wife, but he turned against her, and behold, he has charged her with shameful deeds, saying, I did not find your daughter a virgin. But this is the evidence of my daughter's virginity. And they shall spread the garment before the elders of the city. So the elders of that city shall take the man and chastise him, and they shall fine him 100 shekels of silver, and give it to the girl's father, because he brought forth a bad name against a virgin of Israel. And she shall be his wife. He cannot divorce her all his days. But if this charge is true, that the girl was not found a virgin, then they shall bring out the girl to the doorway of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her, and she will die because she has committed a disgraceful act in Israel by playing the harlot in her father's house. Thus you shall purge the evil from among you. If a man is found lying with a married woman, then both of them shall die, the man who lay with the woman and the woman. Thus you shall purge the evil from Israel. If there is a girl who is a virgin engaged to a man, and another man finds her in the city and lies with her, then you shall bring them both out to the gate of that city, and you shall stone them, and they will die. The girl, because she did not cry out in the city, and the man, because he has violated his neighbor's wife. Thus you shall purge the evil from among you. But if in the field the man finds the girl who is engaged, and the man forces her and lies with her, then only the man who lies with her shall die. But you shall do nothing to the girl. There is no sin in the girl worthy of death, for just as a man rises against his neighbor and murders him, so is this case. When he found her in the field, the engaged girl cried out, but there was no one to save her. If a man finds a girl who is a virgin who is not engaged, and seizes her and lies with her, and they are found, then the man who lay with her shall give to the girl's father 50 shekels of silver. She shall become his wife because he has violated her. He cannot divorce her all his days. A man shall not take his father's wife, so that he will not uncover his father's skirt. And that was chapter 22. Yes, baby.
I made the sweat squeak.
Oh my goodness. Wow. You sure did. Give me just a sec. Okay, sorry about that. Had a bit of a coughing fit. Oh, I just do. I just have many tabs open, that's all. I fly by the seat of my pants. Not always a method to my madness. Yeah. There you go, crack. Probably not nice little coat. That feel good? It's any itchies between those eyes from those silly fleas, huh? Welcome to those just coming in. God bless you. If you need prayer, please don't hesitate to ask. Yeah, Oh, that's nothing. I actually just closed my tabs a week ago. It's nothing compared to how many are open in my brain, by the way. Oh my goodness. Deuteronomy chapter 23. Welcome to those just coming in. God bless you. If you need prayer, please don't hesitate to ask. Fix my thing here. And I'm going to read 23 and 24 tonight. No one who is emasculated or has his male organ cut off shall enter the assembly of Yahweh. No one of illegitimate birth shall enter the assembly of Yahweh, even to the 10th generation. None of his seed shall enter the assembly of Yahweh. I'm not sure how he would have seed if he doesn't have the member. I'm sorry, that was a bad joke. Maybe he did that after. He pulled a Caitlyn Jenner, maybe. No Ammonite or Moabite shall enter the assembly of Yahweh, even to the 10th generation. None of their seed shall ever enter the assembly of Yahweh, because they did not meet you with food and water on the way when you came out of Egypt, and because they hired against you Balaam the son of Beor from Pethor of Mesopotamia to curse you. I'm glad you found it funny, Scott. Nevertheless, Yahweh your God was not willing to listen to Balaam, but Yahweh your God turned the curse into a blessing for you because Yahweh your God loves you. You shall never seek their peace or their prosperity all your days. You shall not abhor an Edomite, for he is your brother. You shall not abhor an Egyptian, for you were a sojourner in his land. The sons of the 3rd generation who are born to them may enter the assembly of Yahweh. When you go out as an army against your enemies, you shall keep yourself from every evil thing. If there is among you any man who is unclean because of a nocturnal emission, then he must go outside the camp. He may not re-enter the camp. But it shall be when evening approaches, he shall bathe himself with water, and at sundown he may re-enter the camp. You shall also have a place outside the camp and go out there, and you shall have a spade among your tools, and it shall be when you sit down outside, you shall dig with it and shall turn to cover up your excrement. Since Yahweh your God walks in the midst of your camp to deliver you and to give your enemies over to you, therefore your camp must be holy, and he must not see anything indecent among you, or he will turn away from you. You shall not hand over to his master a slave who has escaped from his master to you. He shall live with you in your midst, in the place which he shall choose in one of your gates of the towns where it pleases him. You shall not mistreat him. None of the daughters of Israel shall be a cult prostitute, nor shall any of the sons of Israel be a cult prostitute. You shall not bring the hire of a harlot or the wages of a dog into the house of Yahweh your God for any votive offering, for both of these are an abomination to Yahweh your God. You shall not charge interest to your brother, interest on money, food, or anything that may be loaned at interest. You may charge interest to a foreigner, but to your brother you shall not charge interest, so that Yahweh your God may bless you in all that you send forth your hand to do in the land which you are about to enter to possess. When you make a vow to Yahweh your God, you shall not delay to pay it, for Yahweh your God will surely require it of you, and it will be a sin in you. However, if you refrain from vowing, it will not be a sin in you. You shall be careful and do what goes out from your lips, just as you have voluntarily vowed to Yahweh your God that which you spoke with your mouth. When you enter your neighbor's vineyard, then you may eat grapes until you are fully satisfied, but you shall not put any in your basket. When you enter your neighbor's standing grain, then you may pluck the heads with your hand, but you shall not wield a sickle in your neighbor's standing grain. And that was Deuteronomy chapter 23. Welcome to those just coming in. Looks like a couple have joined. God bless you. If you need prayer, please don't hesitate to ask. I am going to read chapter 24, and that's where I will leave off tonight. If a man takes a wife and marries her, and it happens that she finds no favor in his eyes, because he has found some indecency in her, and he writes her a certificate of divorce and puts it in her hand and sends her out from his house, and she goes out of his house and goes and becomes another man's wife, and if the latter husband turns against her and writes her a certificate of divorce and puts it in her hand and sends her out of his house, or if the latter husband dies who took her to be his wife, then her former husband who sent her away is not allowed to take her again to be his wife, since she has been defiled. For that is an abomination before Yahweh, and you shall not bring sin on the land which Yahweh your God gives you as an inheritance. When a man takes a new wife, he shall not go out with the army, nor be charged with any duty. He shall be free at home 1 year, and shall give gladness to his wife whom he has taken. No one shall take a handmill or an upper millstone in pledge, or he would be taking a life in pledge. If a man is caught kidnapping any of his brothers of the sons of Israel, and he mistreats him or sells him, then that thief shall die. So you shall purge the evil from among you. Take care against an infection of leprosy, to be very careful, and to do according to all that the Levitical priests instruct you, as I have commanded them, so you shall be careful to do. Remember what Yahweh your God did to Miriam on the way as you came out of Egypt. When you make your neighbor a loan of any sort, you shall not enter his house to take his deposit. You shall stand outside, and the man to whom you make the loan shall bring the deposit out to you. Now if he is an afflicted man, you shall not sleep with his deposit. When the sun goes down, you shall surely return the deposit to him, that he may sleep in his cloak and bless you, and it will be righteousness for you before Yahweh your God. You shall not oppress a hired person who is afflicted and needy, whether he is one of your brothers or one of your sojourners who is in your land within your gates. You shall give him his wages on his day before the sun goes down, for he is afflicted and sets his soul on it, so that he will not cry against you to Yahweh, and it becomes sin in you. Fathers shall not be put to death for their sons, nor shall sons be put to death for their fathers. Each shall be put to death for his own sin. You shall not pervert the justice due a sojourner or an orphan, nor take a widow's garment in pledge, but you shall remember that you were a slave in Egypt, and that Yahweh your God redeemed you from there. Therefore, I am commanding you to do this thing. When you reap your harvest in your field and have forgotten a sheep in the field, you shall not go back to get it. It shall be for the sojourner, for the orphan, or for the widow, in order that Yahweh your God may bless you in all the work of your hands. When you beat your olive tree, you shall not go over the boughs after you finish. It shall be for the sojourner, for the orphan, and for the widow. When you gather the grapes of your vineyard, you shall not glean it after you finish. It shall be for the sojourner, for the orphan, and for the widow. And you shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt. Therefore, I am commanding you to do this thing. And that was Deuteronomy chapter 24. So I am going to go ahead and end for tonight, but tomorrow is Friday or today. Yeah, so I will be live, in about 22 hours, something like that. So I hope you guys will join me again then. Thanks for being here. God bless you. Love you guys. Love you, Scott. Bye-bye.